All right, y'all. So I am back. I'm gonna go back into. I'll stop on chapter 10. We're trying to knock down both these books because I have a new book on the way that I can't wait to share with you all. So, while I wait on that, I'm going to, of course, take you on a tour of my social media. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at StylesbyNina LLC. Also on Twitter, Urban Intellectual at StylesbyNina. Y'all, I'm just in a good bubbly mood, I guess because I'm working. But I'm always working, but hardly. The call volume had went down, so I had to start back getting on a schedule. I was just clocking in whenever I wanted to work. And then my husband reminded me that this is Christmas time. The phone will never ring if I don't get a schedule. So tonight has been a busy night, and I thank the Creator for that. I'm just in that type of mood. So let's move forward. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. Don't forget to like and comment. Right, wrong, good or bad, I approve all my comments. I don't hold them in a warehouse somewhere. Like, they're approved as long as they aren't disrespectful to me or my subscribers. Thank you for continuing to watch and go with me on this journey. We are digging into these books. This Bill Cooper is more serious than I thought. I'm just like mind blown the more I find out. Now, let's go up here to... I think I still have it open. What do you know? Y'all, we are on chapter 2 of the view of the Hebrews. We are starting this up tonight on page 47. Yeah. So this is chapter 2, the certain restoration of Judah and Israel. Shout out to my brother M.W. Smith. This book was recommended to be read by him. Thank you for sharing the link. And shout out to my brother, my other brothers, Lex, Uno, Teach Me to Be Priestly, all the brothers that are bringing the truth. Ladies, I haven't forgot about you. It's just that I can't remember your names because y'all don't drop as much information, and then it won't pop up in my subscriptions. If I'm missing out on any of you, my apologies. Shout out to Brother Fire. I see you've been dropping some new knowledge. Arthur Scott has dropped some new videos. And shout out to everybody that's bringing knowledge, okay? Alright, so let's get started. The subject of this chapter is introduced with a concise view of the expulsion of the 10 tribes of Israel from the Promised Land. The 10 tribes revolted from the house of David early in the reign of Rehoboam, son and successor of King Solomon. They received from the young prince treatment which was considered impolitic and rough, upon which they separated themselves from that branch of the house of Israel, who from that time have been distinguished by the name of Jews. Let me scroll up so I can keep up, okay? They submitted to another king, Jeroboam, and this breach was never after healed. Jeroboam, to perpetuate and widen this breach, and apprehending that if the Jews and 10 tribes amicably met for public worship according to the law of God, the rupture between them would probably soon be healed, set up 2 golden calves, one in Dan and one in Bethel, and ordered that the 10 tribes of Israel should meet there for their public worship. He thus made Israel to sin, and would to God he had been the last who has made the professed worshippers of Jehovah to sin by assigning them... One moment. Y'all, I am so tired of sitting at this desk today. I've worked like 6 hours today. And I went for a jog. I'm tired. Okay, so he had been the last who has made the professed worshippers of Jehovah to sin. Hold on. By assigning them different places to worship from motives not more evangelical than those of Jeroboam. The 10 tribes thus went off to idolatry. A line of kings succeeded Jeroboam, but none of them, to the time of expulsion, were true worshippers of the God of Israel. By their apostasy, folly, and idolatry, the 10 tribes were preparing themselves for a long and doleful rejection, an outcast state for thousands of years. This Moses had denounced, Deuteronomy 25:28, and this God fulfilled. Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, captured the tribes of Reuben and Gad and the half-tribe of Manasseh, who lay east of the Jordan, and placed them in Hala, Hara, and Habor by the river Gozan. 1 Chronicles 5:26. About 20 years after 134 years before the Babylonish captivity of the Jews and 725 years before Christ, the rest of the 10 tribes, continuing impenitent, Shalmaneser, the succeeding king of Assyria, attacked Samaria, took the remainder of the 10 tribes in the region of Hoshea, king of Israel, carried them to Assyria, and placed them with their brethren in Hala and Habor by the river Gozan in Media. 2 Kings 17. This final expulsion of Israel from the promised land was about 943 years after they came out of Egypt. The land of Assyria placed their stead in Samaria people from Babylon, Cutha, Aba, Hama, and Sepharvaim. Here was the origin of the mongrel Samaritans. From this captivity, the 10 tribes were never recovered, and they have long seemed to have been lost from the earth. They seem to have been indeed outcast from the social world. And the knowledge of civilized man, the Jews long after were dispersed among the nations, but have ever been known as Jews, but not so with Israel. They have seemed strangely to disappear from the world, and for 2,500 years to have been utterly lost. Where are my glasses? Oh, yeah. Ah, okay. Yes. Okay. What are we to believe concerning the 10 tribes? Are they ever again to be known as the natural seed of Abraham? Are they now in existence as a distinct people? If so, where are they to be found? All parts of the world are now so well known that one would conceive the Commonwealth of Israel cannot be found among the civilized nations. We must look for them in a savage state. If so, the knowledge of their descent must be derived from a variety of broken circumstantial traditionary evidence. Who or where then are the people who furnish the greatest degree of this kind of evidence? An answer relative to their restoration will be involved in this chapter, and an answer to the other questions may be expected in the chapter following. That the Jews are to be restored to Palestine as Jews seems evident from a variety of considerations, and that the 10 tribes of Israel will be untied with them seems also to be plainly predicted in the prophets. Let the following things be considered: the preservation of the Jews as a distinct people among the many nations, whether they have been dispersed now for nearly 800 years, affords great evidence, to say the least, that the many predictions which seem to foretell such a restoration are to have a literal accomplishment. This, their preservation, is a most signal event of providence. Nothing like it has ever in any other instance been known on the earth, except it be the case with the 10 tribes of Israel. Other dispersed tribes of men have amalgamated with the people where they have dwelt and have lost their distinct existence, and nothing but the special hand of God could have prevented this in the case of the Jews. The event then shows that God has great things in store for them as Jews. What can these things be but the fulfillment of those many prophecies which predict their restoration to the land of their fathers, as well as their conversion to the Christian faith? 2. Many people have never as yet possessed all the land promised to them, nor have they possessed any part of it so long as promised. Hence, their restoration to that land is essential to complete fulfillment of those ancient promises. They were to possess the land to the river Euphrates and forever, or to the end of the world. God promised to Abraham, Genesis 15:18, and to thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. Exodus 22:31. And I will set thy bounds from the Red Sea even unto the sea of the Philistines, and from the desert unto the river Euphrates. For I will deliver the inhabitants of the land into your hands, and thou shalt drive them out before thee. Deuteronomy 11:21. Every place whereon the sole of thy feet shall stand shall be yours, from the wilderness and Lebanon, from the river Euphrates, even unto the uttermost sea shall your coast be. Here then are the boundaries of this ancient divine grant to Abraham and his natural seed, beginning at the river of Egypt, a river not far from Egypt, a river not far from the northeast corner of the Red Sea, and running into the Mediterranean, thence northward on the shore of the said sea, as far as the point due west of Mount Lebanon, thence eastward over said mountain away to the river Euphrates, thence southward as far as the north line of Syria, thence westward, including the whole of Syria, to the first named river. The whole of this territory the natural seed of Abraham were to possess forever. One moment, y'all. The inhabitants should be driven out before them, but this people anciently possessed but a small part of this territory. There was indeed a kind of typical possession of it in the region of Solomon, which reign was a type of the millennium. See Psalms right there. David in his wars, which were typical of the wars that will introduce the millennium, subdued and put under tribute the Syrians, Moabites, Ammonites, and most of the nations dwelling in above named territories, and they continue in the subjection in the reign of Solomon. See 1 Kings 4:21. I want to stop right here. Peace and power to y'all. All right. I'll pick it up in another video. I'm still working. Thanks for tuning in.